Iowa State rolls in here at 25-5, 13-3 in the Big 12.
I'll tell you something about this team. I mean, I grew up watching the NCAA league. My brothers went in this conference to school, and you're going to see the best cheerleaders and the best band that you're seeing all day long. Trust me.
First shot by Iowa State. Rancic rolls off the rim. James, for Hampton, the first 5 minutes, what needs to be done?
Well, they need to try to play their game. They need to try to take Iowa State out of their game by being patient, passing the ball around. They need to key on some of Iowa State's key players. Try to make Jamal Tinsley play some defense.
They're playing patient right now.
Just keep it close is what they need to do early.
Howard off the mark. LaShawn Howard, a senior from Toledo. And now we'll profile Iowa State from the Big 12. The head coach is Larry Eustace. Ames, Iowa is the home. Nearly 27,000 students at large bid, and they're 5-4 in teams in the tournament.
Well, Eustace is intense, and so are his practices.
Shirley traveling. So we're still scoreless, and we played a minute in Boise.
Paul Shirley, he's a tough guy. He's kind of a heart and soul for the Cyclones. He's a throwback of the old rough and tumble Big 8 days. Big rugged.
Guys like Ed Neely. Guys like Paul Mulkeski. Nice slip down the lane. Howard on the board, and so's Hampton. And they've got the early 2-0 lead.
Well, Sean Howard, I mean, he's not going to show you too much spectacular, but he does a lot of dirty work, particularly filling the lanes, and he usually matches up with the tough offensive players on the opposing teams.
Hampton, the 15th seed, against the number 2 seed in the West. I would think, James, too, it's all about just those early minutes of confidence. You get up 4, maybe 6 early, then you cast some doubt into the minds of Iowa State.
No question. This is Sean Howard going to the hole. These players for Hampton are very creative, and they don't have anything to lose. Let me tell you, there was no butterflies last night because there's no expectation. They just want to come out here and see if they can upset somebody and make a name for Hampton.
Rancic puts it on the floor, hangs on the pivot foot. Really nice defense. Blocked away by Tarvis Williams at 6'9". Back the other way. The 3 falls off the rim into the arms of Sullivan.
I got to tell you, you better ask somebody about Tarvis Williams because he's one of the best players in the nation. Trust me.
Inside, count it. The bucket and the foul. Paul Shirley on the board with an opportunity for a 3-point play. He shoots 52% from the floor.
No rotation. You see the pick and roll. There must be some rotation from the weak side. I think it must have been Tarvis Williams that should have rotated over, but good execution on the pick and roll. One of the oldest fundamental plays in basketball.
Shirley 66% from the line, and he connects. 3-point play. Shirley, a 6'10" senior. Marseille Brown watching across midcourt.
Marseille Brown, now he'll split some defenses. He has the ability to do that. Great free throw shooter. And it makes you pay when you double down on Williams. So Marcellus Brown, a key factor for Hampton.
Now, Larry Eustace, you didn't like that call, but James, I do, because there was no place for the big fella, Tarvis Williams, to land after he made that catch.
And by the rule book, you have to give at least a foot for a guy to come down.
Williams turn around, little knuckle ball off the back of the glass and down. So Tarvis Williams, who averages 22 points a game, on the board. And Hampton with a 4-3 lead. Sullivan wants the 3. Net with the net. As the back end of that net just whipped straight up. Sullivan, a freshman from Oakdale, Minnesota.
Set a school freshman record by making 59 3-pointers. That's 45%. So you don't want to leave Mr. Sullivan open.
Rejected. Good penetration, but it's tough to move on Martine Rancic. Back the other way, around the rim and out. Williams the rebound. Williams do-it-all guy. He can score, he can rebound, and he can block shots. Iowa State by 2. Isaac Jefferson now trying to feed it to Williams and a whistle.
That's some pretty good high-low action. They know that Williams can get the position down low. Put the ball up top, dump it down over low to Williams. Good execution.
Certainly picks up the foul, his first.
And see, that's what they have to do. They have to get some fouls on Iowa State. They have to get to the free throw line, stop the clock, save themselves some time, and energy.
Three-pointer on the way, around the rim and out. Tinsley brings it down across midcourt. Feeds to the big fellow, Horton. Rebound to Williams.
It's a quick shot by Iowa State.
Thought about the three, but they throw it back out. Howard. They drop it down low, wide open. He was too wide open. Didn't put enough on the jumper. Baseline Williams. And a timeout. 15:45 left in the first half. Hampton hanging around early. Only down 2 to Iowa State. 3 terrific games. Now the nightcap. Iowa State and Hampton. Tinsley. From the corner. Tough shot by Sullivan. He's now 6 points, a couple of three-pointers. He shoots 44% from behind the arc.
We want to talk about a gym rat. This guy shoots 1,000 shots a day. Even on off days, he's in the gym
4 hours a day.
They have to make him lock the gym up so that he can't get in. He's a gym rat.
Marseille Brown called for it. Got it. Sinks the free ball.
We talk about Marseille Brown now. Everyone talks about Williams, but it's Marseille Brown who really holds this team together. He is the glue, and he has had some NCAA experience with Richmond in '97, '98. So this is not, something that's unfamiliar to him.
Horton feeds. Ball fell off the rim for Rancic, and quickly comes Marseille Brown. Ball stripped. Last touch by Hampton. All right, now smallest combined margin, James, of victory in first round region. 86 in Minneapolis, 17. They tied it in Washington in 98 with 17. So far, after 3 games here in Boise, 6 points. Let me run it down for you real quick. Georgia State 50-49 over Wisconsin. Maryland 83-80 over George Mason. And Georgetown beat Arkansas here 63-61. That's the kind of day it's been.
Very close. It also goes to show you that when you get to this point in the NCAA tournament, you have to play defense. Teams are not going to allow you to run your normal offense, and that's what we've seen here this afternoon. Some pressing defenses and some good execution.
Williams picked up his first foul. Rancic from Bratislava, Slovakia. Misses the front end, averaging 13.3 points a game. This is the second rebound into the hands of Howard. Turnover. Horton leads it. Rancic with the slam and authority. Rancic on the board. Martin Rancic.
Rancic, one of the players who made the all-underrated team last year. He's a blue-collar worker who really thrives on Eustachy's system.
11-7. Tinsley hits his side of the backboard, brings it back out. Shot clock continues to run. Horton holds. .15 on the shot. Wild shot off the glass.
Looks like he may have been trying to pass that one over and lost it.
Quickly, Marseille Brown gives it off inside Howard. Tough to match the strength right there of Rancic and Shirley. Another turnover coming the other way. Oh, Eustachy's not going to be happy. The man in black across the way.
Hampton, very patient ball club, very well coached. They're not going to come in here and try to use their athletic ability. And they have plenty of that. They know they have to play smart against Iowa State.
10 on the shot clock. Inside, patience. Tarvis Williams, his second bucket, 4 points. The senior from Maysville, North Carolina, the MEAC Player of the Year. Hampton down 2. Rancic faces up. Hampton with a chance to tie. And James, we talked about just hanging around those first 6-7 minutes. Confidence continues to build. Wild shot. Horton has it.
Well, we've seen it, as you mentioned, in our first 3 games, particularly the Georgia State-Wisconsin game, where Georgia State was able to just hang around, and then take the win at the end, even though they were somewhat favored against Wisconsin.
Horton, three-pointer, rattles in.
Three-point field goal.
Contrell Horton out of Covington, Georgia.
Another player that was named to the Big 12 all underrated teams. So guys who don't make, real team, they make the underrated team. They get honorable mention, but he led this team in several games this year.
Iowa State, James, with 3 threes made so far here in the first half. Back the other way, short off the iron. Loose ball picked up. Tinsley, 1-on-3, takes it to the hole and a whistle.
Well, Hampton's got to get back. They have to work on the things that they know they can do. Getting back on transition, not turning the ball over, being patient. That time, Ohio State was able to get down quickly before Hampton was able to get back on defense.
Foul on Marseille Brown is first. Iowa State, James, 5 field goals made. Tinsley has already dished out 4 assists. Still without a point.
I was going to say, that's almost a guarantee that his numbers will come because he's looking for others early in the ball game.
Timeout in Boise. Iowa State and Hampton. Cyclones lead by 5. We'll be back. Iowa State leading Hampton by 5. Difference in this game, 3-point shots by the Cyclones, plus they're +3 on the rebounding end.
Well, Jake Sullivan and Contrell Horton are 2 guys that Hampton's going to really have to get to. I mean, you don't mind giving a guy 1 shot just to see if he's going to be on, but they're on. So you have to get out and they have to get back on the defensive transition to take away those quick 3-pointers.
Brown hands it off. Isaac Jefferson. Brown spots up for the 3. On the deck, the follow. Put it down. Cleveland Davis, the junior. Spring Lake, North Carolina.
Well, Cleveland Davis, he's like a motivator on the floor with his energy, very versatile, and will do a good job trapping defenses and hitting the boards.
And James, a good body, 6'8", around 230. He can move people around.
Absolutely. He's not afraid to mix it up either. Got those big pumps in those arms and just very aggressive. And, when you find players that play that way all year long, and referees, I know that these referees hadn't seen Hampton that much, but you get known for being a very rough player, and you can get away with a lot more physical play.
Tyree Pearson, who just checked in, a junior out of Hammond, Indiana, on the board. That's a tough baseline shot. Cyclones by 5. They'll drop it inside, and a whistle as Travis Williams loves that spot.
He likes that low post, the baseline, and because of his leaping ability, he can just turn and jump over most. He doesn't get his shot blocked often. Good power move, stronger than he looks.
Foul was whistled on Jake Sullivan, his first. Gets the high bounce and then around and out.
Travis Williams also an excellent shot blocker. He had 7 block shots in the MEAC title game, the championship game. So he comes from the weak side and on the ball defender as well.
Missed a pair of free throws. Under 11 minutes left in the first half. Iowa State by 5. Horton spins, lost the handle, picks it up. 20 on the shot clock.
I've always been a firm believer, if you can't get a move off in 4 or 5 dribbles, or 3 or 4, you got to be a passer. But Sullivan, he's looking to score.
Sullivan misses the 3. You saw there the 2 teams, James, combining 1 of 7 from the free throw line.
This is something that I just remember shooting 100 free throws after practice ever since junior high school until you got up to about 70%. It's just very difficult to understand.
Is it a lost art?
I think it is. I think the kids have been brainwashed with the dunk and the three-pointer and, you know, the crossover dribble that they're forgetting about the basic fundamentals. So kids who go out and work on the fundamentals are the ones that are going to make the team. And those who are going to be flashy and behind the back and all hanging on the rim, they're going to get cut. My opinion. Stick to the fundamentals and you'll make the team, kids.
Williams with his third bucket, 6 points. Hampton, impressive, hanging around. Down by 3. Horton wants the 3. Too strong.
And see, if our state's going to depend on that, they're going to shoot themselves out of the game. They've got to get some fundamentals inside as well.
Davis in the corner. And a whistle. Tyree Pearson picks up the foul, his first. Like to check out after today's first round. Continuing here in Boise.
I really like the execution. I have not seen Hampton play this year, but I like the way they run their offense. They set good picks. They're very patient. Every player on the floor usually touches the ball before they look at the basket. They attack. They make the defense react.
Howard had a good look off the rim. Cyclones bring it down with Tinsley. Under 9 minutes left. 3-point game. Hampton won 24 games, lost only 6 and went 13-4 in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. And James, they've only been in Division I play since back in 1995 when they made the jump.
Rick Mahorn out of Hampton University. He's somewhere watching the game. Rick, I know you're watching. Congratulations.
Hampton has taken care of the ball. Only two turnovers. Cyclones with 5. Marseille Brown running the point. With the patience again. Up high was Williams. Missed the shot. Now quickly down court to Pearson.
Just totally out of control.
Pearson looks winded as he makes his way back. Brown spots Adams. Little lob down low. In traffic, no whistle. Picks up the miss and puts it back in. Is Thomas Williams with 8 points.
Well, if you don't defend the patient offense, they're going to get something down low with Tarvis, or Marseille Brown is going to break down the defense and get inside.
Rejected. Another block for Williams. Coming back the other way. Larry Eustace told us yesterday, and I almost thought he was kidding. He goes, I'm worried about this game. I am worried.
And he should be, because the NEAC is not like it used to be. They have some pretty good talented players. No, they don't get to play against the top big schools in the country every year, but they have a great coach in Steve Murfill, and they have a pretty good player in Tarvis Williams and Marseille Brown. And collectively, they're staying in this ball game.
Well, going back to Larry Eustace, he also told us the story after the loss to Baylor in the Big 12 tournament quarterfinals. 62-49 was the final. You know, the players, he's known as Dr. Doom because of the tough practices. But instead of riding these guys, he said, guys, come upstairs into the film room, and they ended up having a rib and chicken feast and having a good time. He goes, I don't know if it was the right thing to do or not. He said, we'll find out Thursday. We'll take a break. Hampton by 1. Hampton, the 15th seed in the West, leading the number 2 seeded Iowa State Cyclones here in Boise, 17-16. Tarvis Williams, who averages 22 points a game, ranked 8th nationally, already has 8 points. Work it into Shirley and a whistle.
Looks like it might have been goaltending on that shot as well. Ball was on the glass.
Yeah, they're going to count it. Shirley gets the hoop and a chance for a 3-point play.
Number 5, Cleveland Davis, second personal, team foul, 5.
From the basketball, you're going to see the ball hit the glass, and then it was blocked away. Didn't have a chance to go in, but you can't touch the ball when it's on the glass. Brad Davis, guilty.
Lane violation, so another try for Shirley. 6'10", 235-pound senior with 5 points and 2 rebounds. Never give your opponent a second try.
No, you don't want to give them a violation.
Iowa State by 2. Marcy Brown brings it down for Hampton. Picked up by Tinsley. Cleveland Davis on the floor with a couple of fouls.
Cleveland Davis, he's always in fast motion.
One official baseline had one whistle, and the other along the near sideline whistled another, and it's going to be a foul called. Tarvis Williams, that's a tough one. That's the second foul on Tarvis Williams.
Well, Martin Renduck is really leaning on him, and Tarvis is trying to get position. And you do that by keeping your arms in position. It looks like he may have used the elbow to push off a little bit.
Shane Power, the freshman from Crown Point, Indiana, excited about his future. Will go to the free throw line after the foul by Howard, and that's his second.
And by Hampton being able to stay close right now, they're thinking, hey, we're close, we're gaining some confidence. And if you're Iowa State, you're thinking, God, we can't get away from these guys. They're sticking close. We don't have a big lead, and that starts to play into your psyche as the game goes on.
Free throws been a problem for Larry Eustace's club.
You see, the coaches know. Eustace knows, and Steve Murphill's over there saying, hey, you start coaching a little bit, see if I can keep this thing even closer.
Under 7 minutes left, and Hampton down only 3. Alley-oop. Little push off. Is that 3? 3 fouls. Tarvis Williams going to have to ride bench.
It just appears that Iowa State knew that was coming. Great execution. Good pick, but a great job by Jamal Tinsley in picking up the alley-oop.
Well, for a moment you thought Williams may stay in, a gamble by Murphill, but he takes out his big score here with 6:30 left.
Now I think Marcy Brown's got to be a little bit more active in looking for some scoring. They can't afford to let Ohio State just, bump this lead up to 10 or 15 with Tarvis Williams out of the game. Good defense now by Hampton.
Iowa State by 3. Power sets up, misses the jumper. Loose ball in the corner. Iowa State basketball. Fresh 35 on the shot clock. Boy, good look by Rancic.
Jake Sullivan back to the lineup for Iowa State.
Out of bounds, Hampton basketball. Sullivan checks back in. For Iowa State, had a couple of 3-pointers early. 6:08 to go.
And without Tarvis Williams in the game, Cleveland Davis has to become the inside presence, particularly on the defense and rebounding. But Hampton has to do a collective job on the boards. They led their conference in rebounding, so they know how to rebound.
Slicing with the left hand. LaShawn Howard. Nice move, the senior from Toledo.
As I mentioned, not anything spectacular, but just strong and dependable.
Quick shot. Tinsley gave up a quick 3.
I don't understand those quick shots like that with no execution on offense. That's a tough shot for me to accept.
Now Rancic picks up a foul.
Look at the triple threat position. He squared up to where he could pass, dribble, or shoot. Decided a little pump fake, left it off the glass. And when you leave the gaps open for Hampton, they will find it. They know how to get inside the defense for little dishes or finishing strong.
Rancic picked up the foul, his first. And now free throws. Howard with 5. This is the Wild West. All 3 games here in Boise. James decided by a total of 6 points. And talk about the Big Ten upsets. Utah State knocked off Ohio State. Georgia State got Wisconsin. right here in Boise. And Kent State picks up the win over Indiana. The only Big Ten team to win, Iowa, who got by Creighton. With a layup. Should have gone in, but it fell off the rim. Back the other way. Knuckleball shot. Didn't hit the rim, did it? No. Shot clock still at 29. It did not touch the rim.
Hampton ball.
And it's going to be Hampton basketball. Last touch by the Cyclones.
Yeah, it was deflected on the shot. I think Tinsley got a little piece of it. Caused the air ball out of bounds on Iowa State with 29 seconds left on the shot clock. But I like what Mercedes Brown is starting to do. He's going to start looking for a shot, realizing that Williams is out of the game.
Good anticipation on the reach in. Shirley able to get it away, and from behind, Power is nearly knocked to the floor. A strong move by Isaac Jefferson.
Hampton's not giving up anything easily inside there. Making him earn it at the free throw line. As you see Power going to the hole from behind. Isaac Jefferson almost took his head off there.
Shane Power, 74% from the free throw line. And the struggles continue. Iowa State 3 of 10. And their season average at 74. And that's how coaches lose hair. I mean, that's the reason right there.
It is. Free throws, you know, coaches go back and they look at, you know, tape and they look at statistics. They, you know, they lose by 5 and they shoot 50% from the free throw line. Just runs them crazy. Particularly when at the end of every practice across the nation, that's what they shoot. 50, 100 free throws. Got to be able to knock down the free throws in this game.
James, at the 5-minute mark, is Steve Murfield just excited beyond belief that he's one down on Iowa State?
He is totally excited. He's up coaching. He, you know, I know he expected to be down 5 or 10 points.
Team foul 8 on Iowa State.
4:51 left here in the first half in Boise, West Region, first round. And Hampton, the 15th seed in the West, pushing the 2 seed, Iowa State. Williams with 8 points. Tarvis Williams leading the way for Hampton. And Jake Sullivan and Paul Shirley each with 6 for Iowa State.
And it's been the story here all afternoon, with the exception of Georgia State and Maryland, where the big key players, George Evan and Dixon, were able to get their games on. But so far, Tinsley hasn't been able to get his game on, although he's been a good assist guy. But these teams have been able to stay in, keep it close. Hampton up by 1, and no one in the nation expected this.
No. Second lead of the night for Hampton. The Pirates from the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Under 5 minutes in the first half remaining. Sullivan done about the 3, puts it on the floor. And now a foul as he went down the lane.
Boy, that was a sure charge, but evidently Isaac Jefferson fouled before the charge took place.
We're going to give that foul to Tommy Adams, his first.
So there's Jake Sullivan going to the hole.
Well, you saw a couple of reaches, but no contact.
Things that make you go,
Sullivan connects on the free throw, 7 points out of Oakdale, Minnesota. Big 12 freshman of the year.
Led all rookies with an 11.6 points per game average last year, so great start.
22 all. Power through his hands, was not expecting the pass by Tinsley. .421 left. Hampton and Iowa State tied at 22. The Pirates with the basketball.
Hampton Pirates playing a Wisconsin Badger style of game. They really are trying to control the tempo. And they seem to be doing a pretty good job of it, because Iowa State has not been able to get their game on track of yet.
And from the Cyclones, James, as you look at this bench, as you look at you, Stacy, and you look at the effort on the floor, I don't know, it's a late game. You've waited around all day. You're the #2 seed, supposedly going to walk over a 15th seed, and you just don't see a lot of emotion.
And they've also had an opportunity to see, you know, teams lose. They've seen some teams that weren't supposed to lose. Now, sometimes that plays into your advantage because you tell yourself, not going to happen to us. On the flip side of that coin, you say, oh, boy, it could happen to us. So you never know what goes into the psyche of the ball player.
Three-pointer, bottom of the net, Cleveland Davis. His second bucket, 5 points. Out of Spring Lake, North Carolina. Hampton, 25-22. Only their second three-pointer made.
Normally when a star player goes out, it takes some time for the teammates to pick up and compensate for that. But collectively, Hampton has done a good job.
And James, this is what's amazing. This lead has happened since Tarvis Williams picked up the third foul. They've gone on an 8-2 run since that third foul on Williams.
And look at Mercer Brown. Now, he's getting his team together. He's a great leader. As you see, Isaac Jefferson off the drive and kick. Nothing but nylon.
Jefferson at 1-1.
Rancic picked up the foul, his second, as Tarvis Williams continues to ride the bench with 8 points, but he's got the 3 fouls. Has to be excited with the effort, the 5 on the floor. Free throw good by Isaac Jefferson. And again, that run now is 9-2 since Williams had to go to the bench.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I would love to be in the locker room of Ohio State because I see the face of Eustacia getting ready for his team at halftime.
Tinsley crossover to Power. Works his way, tough basket.
Number 21, Shane Power.
Shane Power with his first hoop, 4 points. Averages about 20 minutes a game. Well, that was easy. That was easy. I think Davis was surprised how easy. Little lob inside, walked in for the bucket.
Well, Cleveland Davis, once he gets position on the low block, you're not going to move him out of the way. He's an animated player.
Contact. Blocking foul. And it's gonna go against Howard.
Well, one thing for sure, Hampton, they are getting in the paint and congestion, but Howard just moved in just a little bit at the end. I think had he held his ground, he may have gotten the charge.
Horton, an excellent free throw shooter at 86%.
Timeout on the floor.
Horton makes his second with 4 points, and Hampton at the 2:30 mark has a 3-point lead on Iowa State. Hampton by 3 over Iowa State. 2:20 to go.
Well, Hampton, they've got the confidence that they were looking for. And right now, their body language looks like they're in control, and they already look like they know that they got a chance of winning the ball game. If they just play smart like that.
Right down the barrel, Marseille Brown. 6 points and a couple of threes so far. 1:52 to go. And do you believe this? His crowd alive. Biggest lead at 31-25. Brown wide open, spots and hits. A 15th seed in the West. Hampton, the Pirates, leading the 2 seed in the West. The Iowa State Cyclones 31-25. A minute 52 left before halftime. Paul Shirley will inbounds in front of us to Horton.
Horton got a body like Khalid Al-Amin.
Jake Sullivan pulls it out. Jumper finds its way down for Rancic. 1:32 remaining in the first half, And Hampton, the 15th seed on top of the 2 seed in the West. Iowa State by 4.
Hampton's going to milk this last minute and 20 seconds. They're going to be overjoyed going into the locker room ahead.
They've done this with 3-pointers. They've done it inside baseline shots.
And they've done it without their star player, Tarvis Williams, who's on the bench with 3 fouls.
Williams had to leave about midway through the first half, but scored 8 before departing.
Then Rashawn Howard comes in the game. He has 5 points. And Cleveland Davis has picked it up. He has 7 points. So collectively, along with Marseille Brown, Hampton is in the ballgame.
Over the back, Martin Rancic over the back off the missed 3 by Power. And that's going to be 3 on Rancic.
On the Cyclones.
And we look at the summary, 31-27, field goal percentage, just enough. James, for Hampton at 40%, Iowa State struggling obviously at 34.
Well, Hampton's getting quality shots. And Iowa State has not gotten the ball inside but a few occasions. In ones to Power.
What do you think? First-time dancers, Northwestern State defeated Winthrop today. Southern Utah, tough game with Boston College, losing by 3. Could Hampton be getting size for a slipper?
I think it's possible. And, you know, just a small note. Players that leave school early. Now, Marcus Fizer could have been here. But when you have a player that leaves school, it's a tough regroup. Hampton has nobody that's left school. All these guys have played together. The chemistry is there. They are in sync. Iowa State has spent a lot of the year trying to compensate for the loss of Fizer. That's just a little note. Nothing that really makes a big difference, but just a little note about players who stay in school together.
Oh, Horton barreled in, picked up the charge. David Johnson holding his ground, and it's the second personal foul for Horton.
Well, right there, you have to be able to pull up and shoot that jumper. Horton not able to do it. 22 seconds left. 27-31, Hampton leading.
22 seconds and change remaining. First half here in the West region of Boise. Hampton on top of Iowa State, 31-27. Hampton, by the way, James, they've outscored the Cyclones 14-7 since Tarvis Williams had to take that seat with the 3rd foul at the 6:30 mark.
Talk about maturation. They knew exactly when he left the game, someone had to pick it up. Rashawn Howard didn't skip a beat.
Marseille Brown, pair of 3-pointers in the first half across the timeline, working it down for the final shot. He's working against Horton.
Going to break him down.
Floater, missed it. At the buzzer. And the 3-pointer way off the mark from behind midcourt. So Hampton in a surprise at halftime, leading Iowa State 31-27. Marseille Brown and Tarvis Williams each with 8 for Hampton.
It's going to be very important for Tarvis Williams not to go for all the block shots and try to stay under control. Play good, steady defense. Position defense is what you want to play when you're in foul trouble. Meaning you want to take away areas and not play so body to body. So he's got to be very careful, particularly early in the second half here.
Well, James Williams may have the 3 fouls, but the 2 big fellas for Iowa State now looking at foul problems. Shirley with 3, Rancic also with 3. And you look at the Division I scoring leaders. Tarvis Williams ranked 6th at 22.3 points a game.
And there's no question he could play for any team in the nation.
Nine points. 32-27, a 5-point lead. Give me your thoughts on the first 5 minutes here, maybe for Iowa State, as Tinsley, who was 0 for 2 in the first 20 minutes, gets his first bucket.
Well, I stand corrected. I said Iowa State didn't have any points in the paint. What I meant to say was Tinsley didn't have any points. He's a star player. But the first 5 minutes of this game, Iowa State must shut down Hampton, first of all, and they have to start powering that ball to their strengths. One of them is Tinsley. They have to get back inside and try to get that foul on Tarvis Williams, because he's not going to pressure defense. He's going to let Shirley and Rantic do whatever they want to inside. He's not going to pick up that 4th foul.
Well, Cyclone showing life. Rancic with his 6-point, 3 buckets. Now from way on and way off the mark was the 3 by Marseille Brown. Iowa State with a chance to take the lead. Tinsley pulls up, wants the 3. Rebound pulled down by Jefferson. A very quick shot by Iowa State. Now they turn it over. Hampton giving it back to the Cyclones.
Well, the last shot by Tinsley, you know, it's a tough shot to earn a stand. No one else has touched the basketball. There's about 29 seconds left on the shot clock, and you know, anybody can come down and shoot that shot. And that's what happens when you're a star player. You don't get the touches. You know, you start to force the issue a little bit. There's another one.
Around the rim and out.
So he's not looking for the weak side option. He's not looking to go inside, and they need to continue to go inside as long as Tarvis Williams is in the ballgame.
Good shot baseline. Off the mark. Paul Shirley, another rebound for Iowa State. Gives it up to Horton.
You got Tarvis Williams with 3 fouls. You know how critical he is. Got to get it down inside to one of your big people and try to get that foul.
Hampton still by 1. They dump it down low. Rejected. Williams. Well, you know, he's not shying away with the 3 fouls.
Well, he lures you into thinking that you're going to get a freebie, and he's quick. It's like a pogo in there. You're at the rim. All of a sudden, he comes from nowhere.
How good is he in the blocks department? Before tonight's game, 435 career blocks.
That's 7 in their championship game. That reminds you of Theo Ratliff a little bit. A guy that doesn't have the 7-foot size, but there's that 4th foul.
Over the back at 17-13.
And it was a cheap foul, too. His 4th one. It's kind of hard to curtail players who play on instinct and effort. You know, this guy doesn't know how to play with 4 fouls. He's got to learn how to do that. Now he's got to leave the game, and but I got to tell you, Cleveland Davis came in along with LaShawn Howard and picked up the pieces.
Those 2 combined for 12 points in the first half.
And we heard the interview with Coach Steve Murfield. He said, look, we've played without Williams before, and we know how to do it.
Sullivan trying to put it on the floor. Ball knocked away. Short shot by Rancic. Iowa State basketball with 22 on the shot clock.
Really need to power the ball inside. They have to wear Hampton down.
Tough shot off the glass and down for Rancic. Couple of buckets here in the second half, and Iowa State has the lead at 33-32.
Rancic has been productive inside. Shirley has been productive inside, and I think that's where Iowa State needs to go, because Tinsley not really found his groove yet.
Trying to break down Hampton's defense, and last touched by Tommy Adams.
And I think most coaches would rather see passing around the horn than one guy dribbling and then trying to make a quick pass. The defense is set on one guy when you're dribbling. When you're moving it around, you dictate what the defense does.
3-pointer. Buries it. Was 7. He had a 3 early in the first half, and all of a sudden, Iowa State calmly, methodically, taking a 4-point lead and a timeout. 16-13 left here in the second half in Boise. Iowa State up. Well, it's not been the second half start that Steve Murfield really wanted for his Hampton club. They've struggled. 0 for 5 from the floor. They've turned it over twice, and only 1 free throw came off the fingertips of Williams before he took a seat with the fourth foul. Iowa State on a 9-0 run, trying to add as Horton 2-on-1. A slam by Shirley.
Not exactly what you wanted coming out of a timeout. Timeouts are called to get something good. Iowa State on an 11-0 run. Now, when Williams went out of the game in the first half, Hampton was able to pick up the pieces with Davis, Howard, Williams, and Brown. But that was the first half.
James, you see a much more active Cyclone defense.
Very active. Filling the lanes.
Count it. Tough shot by Howard, who had 5 points in the first half. A senior from Toledo.
But that's the kind of defense really that Hampton will respond to. They like that tough one-on-one play. They can utilize their assets, which is put the ball on the floor, get to the bucket.
Now Rancic, the blue-collar work ethic player that Larry Eustace adores so much, is on the bench with 4 fouls. And in comes Richard Evans.
Timeout on the floor.
3-point play. Howard with 8, and Hampton down by 3. Iowa State, though, roaring back here in the second half. .21 left in this second half in Boise West Region first round. Iowa State, who trailed by 4 at the half, now leading by 3. Now for an NCAA tournament update, let's go to New York, and here's Greg Gumbel. Iowa State now builds that lead to 5.
Well, Hampton now seems to be a little bit confused as what they want to do right now.
Loose ball still on the deck, picked up by the Cyclones, and covering up is Shirley.
Look, just because Hampton has lost Williams, they can't rely on the perimeter shot. They have a player in Cleveland Davis, and they need to go inside and get some fouls.
Iowa State by 5, and the basketball. Horton has 7. Pulls up, wide open jumper, in and out. Rebound by Evans, but it's lost. And here comes Hampton.
Hampton's got to score. They can't allow Iowa State to get a couple of buckets to get down 7 or 9. They got to really get the ball inside, in my opinion, to Cleveland Davis, who knows how to hold position and keep it there.
Davis baseline.
Not that kind of position. Man.
Didn't even find iron. Here comes Tinsley. Spinning. Oh, tough shot. Banks it. 0 for 2 in the first half, and he's got 4 points here. Big 12 Player of the Year. You know, he came off a tough game against Baylor in that quarterfinal of the Big 12 tournament with only 8. So his shot's been kind of off of late. Tinsley runs the floor, gives it off to Evans.
Timeout.
Richard Evans, the senior from Dallas, runs it up and in for 2, and a timeout. Iowa State 44, Hampton 35.
Now, Tarvis Williams is back in the ballgame with 13 minutes to go. So they notice that they don't have any inside presence, and you know, you take a big gamble when you bring your star player, but it's now or never.
Evans picks up the foul, his first, and Iowa State on a 13-3 run since that 4th foul picked up by Williams. It was just the opposite in the first half. Williams lost it, lay it up and in. Tinsley with 3 buckets this half, 6 points.
And Craig, it's just extremely hard to play the style of play you like to play with aggression if you have this much time left in the game with 4 fouls. I mean, Tarvis Williams got to be really careful, and that's on his mind.
Little nice give and go. Brown foul, Jefferson. His first bucket. He'll get a chance for a 3-point play. Horton picks up his 3rd foul. .12:35 remaining.
You know, Craig, even though Tarvis Williams has the 4 fouls, there's something to be said about having your star player on the floor. I mean, it gives the other guys confidence just knowing that he's out there.
Baseline, Shirley. Ball loose, picked up. Here comes Marseille Brown. Coast to coast, the layup and a whistle. Wouldn't go down.
So on that last defensive possession, Tarvis Williams normally would go after that block shot, but he has to play tentative defense now. And if you're Iowa State, you want to expose that and post him up until you get that fifth foul.
Jake Sullivan picks up his second foul, and that puts Brown at the free throw line. Makes the first. Had 8 points, James, in the first half.
You see, now there's Tarvis Brown. Now, normally he would try to go up and block that shot, but he tried to avoid that fifth foul, and that's going to be critical when you cannot play the aggressive defense that you're accustomed to. And he is a pure shot blocker.
Free throw is good. The lead back down to 7. Hampton, the 15th seed out of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. They had Iowa State, the 2 seed in the West, down, James, by 4 in the first half. Terrific play from Tarvis Williams. 8 points for Marseille Brown in that first 20 minutes. And now Hampton, little mini comeback.
Tarvis Williams with another major block.
How about that? To the lane. LaShawn Howard now in double figures with 10.
Can't tell you how important it is to have Tarvis Williams on the floor. He's very bold and brave. He's still going after those block shots, and you know.
Another quick shot by the Cyclones. Marseille Brown against Tinsley, and a whistle. Jamal Tinsley picks up the foul, and that's going to be number 2.
You know, those quick shots from long distance make for a good transition game.
Timeout. Iowa State and Hampton, and the Pirates are clawing back. Iowa State leading Hampton 46-41, 11:24 remaining. Now Hampton, remember, had a 4-point lead at the half, but you look at the second half points, James, and Iowa State outscoring Hampton 19-10. Free throws, trouble. Cyclones 6 of 15. They cannot put Hampton away.
Could be a factor because you have to knock those down, but in the second half, Iowa State picked up the defense. They got the foul on Williams, and they've been able to execute a little bit better than the first half.
Howard had a good look, but lost the handle. Iowa State basketball. West Region first round, Boise, Idaho, Iowa State and Hampton. Iowa State, the number 2 seed in the West, taking on the 15th seed, Hampton Pirates, out of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. And once again, you look at that first half, the first 20 minutes, and James, Hampton had the 4-point lead at the half. A bit of a shocker. Iowa State did not play with a lot of emotion. Tinsley was held scoreless, the Big 12 Player of the Year, but has come back with 3 buckets here in the second half, and Iowa State with a 7-point lead.
Well, Tinsley doing his thing. He's scoring and he's getting other players involved as well. But Hampton will not go away. Tommy Adams, a fine complementary player, decent shooter, and one of the best defenders on the perimeter for Steve Murfield. So, making a contribution. 4
points for Adams, but quickly Iowa State responds. And the bucket goes down for Power. Had 4 in the first half, 6 points now for the freshman from Crown Point, Indiana.
Power's known for having the hairdo on the ball club. A lot of moose.
Hasn't moved once tonight.
It's either the moose or Afro sheen he's crazy there, something.
Tyree Pearson picks up the foul. That's going to be 3 on Pearson. 50-43 is our score, Iowa State. And the second half points has been a cyclone of points, 23-12. But again, though, free throws, a big factor for Larry Eustace's team. Made the first, missed the second. Tarvis Williams with 10. It's a 6-point game. Tinsley feeds. Last touched by the Cyclones. Looking inside to Evans. So Hampton still with a chance, and James, it's just about taking advantage of opportunity.
Absolutely. And Iowa State, you know, they have Tinsley, and Powers playing well, but, you know, they still need to go inside. They were very successful with Ranzik and Shirley, and they've kind of gotten away from that. Rightfully so, because Powers and Tinsley have picked up the game, but they have not been able to put Hampton away, and they were doing that when they were going inside.
Evans checks out, and Ranzik with the 4 fouls. Back in for Iowa State. The turnovers, 13 for Hampton, 11 for Iowa State. And this shot pulled down by Ranzik, who just checked in. Up court comes Horton across midcourt. Tough defense and a whistle.
Well, the last shot for Hampton by Marseille Brown is not the shot you need to take. You don't look for threes right now. You got to get the ball inside to Tarvis Williams. Get some fouls on Iowa State.
4th foul on Howard. Only the 2nd team foul. Iowa State was 7 here in the second half. 6-point ball game. Iowa State trying to run some clock. Tinsley has it with 18 on the shot.
Well, they'd love to run Tinsley off some of those weak side picks. Get the ball on the strong side and look for Tinsley coming off that pick. But that's a straight up in your face 3 by Tinsley.
Tinsley has turned it around, scoreless in the first 20 minutes when only took 2 shots. 0 for 2, now 9 here in the second half.
You know, he has that Butch Lee speed, player that played for Al McGuire's team in 1974. Just kind of nonchalant, and all of a sudden, boom, he's quickness on you.
Ranzik skies for the rebound. Tinsley brings it down. Working one-on-one against Marseille Brown, and a whistle.
That hesitation move, very, not too many kids, you know, perfect that. That's a good move to be able to go first gear, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
53-44 Iowa State. The number 2 seed in the West. A bit of a scare at halftime as they trailed the 15th seed Hampton Pirates by 4, 31-27. But then it's been Tinsley who has really put the spark back in the Cyclones with 9 points. Lane violation.
Another 2 free throws missed by Iowa State. So if Hampton is able to keep this close and make it a close game, you're absolutely right, Craig. They're going to look to that category. Larry
Eustace pacing. He told us again, can't reiterate it enough, just how afraid he was of this Hampton team.
When the coaches watch his tape, and he watched a lot of Hampton, he told us, he said, look, this team's no joke. They can play with us.
Tinsley the steal. Power takes it up and 2-hands it. Shane Power, the freshman, with 8 points off the bench. Averaging 20 minutes a game for Larry Eustace. And now the Cyclones with a 55-44 lead. On the wing is Jefferson. Looking low block for Williams. Turnaround, soft shot. Too soft. Back for the rebound. Missed it. 3rd time. Couldn't go. Tip ball.
4 opportunities for 1 player amongst 2 giants. Shirley and Ranzik. No contest.
Ranzik's got the 4 fouls. Shirley has 3, but Williams playing tough with 4.
Williams is so quick to the ball. I mean, he really, when he touches the floor, he's back up really fast.
Alley-oop. Off the mark. Hampton wants to run. Sliding and a whistle. The Marseille Brown, folks, does not hesitate taking it to the hole. 5'10", about 160, if that. And Shirley picks up number 4.
Well, he's a splitter, meaning that he loves to split the defense. He just did that. Shirley and Ranzik had him cut off, but the ability to change direction quickly and split through the defense is one of his assets.
82% free throw shooter, makes the first 10 points. And Tuesday on CBS, fighter jets are falling from the sky. Is it a government conspiracy or an act of terrorism? It's a jag you won't want to miss Tuesday on CBS. 11 points now for Marseille Brown. And Hampton refuses to go away. 7:15 left. Iowa State 55, Hampton 48. Tarvis Williams on the floor with 4 fouls for Hampton. He's had a terrific game despite just battling foul trouble, James. 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks.
And that's in limited minutes, as you mentioned. I think he's an exceptional athlete.
Rancic battling hard, pulls in traffic around the rim and in. Boy, Rancic took a chance with the 4 fouls as he went back up strong. Iowa State 57-48 over Hampton.
And Williams went for the pump fake and almost came down on Rancic for his 5th foul.
Marseille Brown. That's the spot he likes. A little mismatch there as he looks into the eyes of Martin Rancic.
A little clear out.
12 on the shot. Inside, lost the handle. Williams had it and lost it.
Tinsley getting a hand on it. You got to really keep the ball up high when you're inside.
Down on a knee. They're going to call traveling. And surely may have turned an ankle. Our CBS Sports Line stat of the game. It's field goal percentages by half. And look at Iowa State jumping, James, from 33 in the first 20 minutes to 63 here in the second half.
Well, Tinsley was responsible for that, and he's able to come back from deficits. Early in the year, they were up down against Tennessee Tech. And Tinsley came back in the second half. 16 of his 17 points came in that second half. So he knows how to get the job done when they're down.
For a 3. And an out. Oh, a tough shot. Tony Adams. Looks like Horton may have taken a shot in the eye. The official asks if he's okay. Horton with 7 points. 57-48 Iowa State. Just under 6 minutes left here in Boise.
Well, Hampton wants to make a run at it with 5:30 going the game. They cannot sit back and allow Iowa State to just run their offense. They have to get up and pressure a little bit, maybe some trap, a little bit more gambling on the defensive end.
Marseille Brown, look at the battle, still fighting. Baseline, it goes out. Williams now back to Brown. Clock becoming the enemy of Hampton.
Which is why they really need to get it inside, try to get a foul and stop that clock so it'll work to their advantage. They're getting the lead.
Well, look at Williams still trying to post up with the 4 fouls. 8 on the shot clock, 5 minutes left.
Well, he's got to seal his man so that Shirley's not able to come over the top like that. When you get a low post position, you have to go body to body, seal, hold, so that that ball entry pass can get there without deflection.
Isaac Jefferson will inbound for Hampton. The Pirates 24-6, 13-4 in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Iowa State 25-5, and the basket goes down. 14 now, and it's a 7-point game.
They look for Hampton to trap on the first pass. They have to get into some type of pressure defense.
Good defense. Wow. With Williams with the 4, he bodied up.
Well, with that leaping ability, you don't have to lean in and have your arms going down. You can go straight up. And that's exactly what Williams did. You got to give him a little pump fake.
3-pointer off the mark. Williams, James, with 5 blocks, the 15th time this season with 5 or more swats. And he's battled the foul bug all night.
Still productive. 10 rebounds, blocking shots, keeping his cool. A lot of time left. Only down 7.
Nice steal. Showtime. It's the rim. Tommy Adams. Out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Watch out. 5-point game. Iowa State up. The 2 seed in the West against the 15th seed Hampton Pirates.
I don't know what the triangle defense means for Hampton, but they're getting into passing lanes, doing a lot of switching and a lot of trapping in certain areas. So they're picking up the defense. A lot of time left. 3 minutes and 47 seconds, only down 5.
And James, you hear the crowd sold out all day in Boise at the Pavilion. They love the underdogs. Tinsley to Power. He wants the three. Off the mark, but a big rebound and a fresh 35 on the shot clock.
Boy, that just demoralizes your good defense when you play good defense and give up an offensive rebound.
Again, Tinsley to Power, the freshman. Guarded there with a hand by Williams. Little pitch and catch. Power, baseline, tough throw, and out of bounds. Hampton basketball. And a timeout. A bad pass by the freshman. Hampton still in it. Adams up and in. We'll be back.
Let's see. That would have been a team with Matt Doherty on it. Jimmy Braddock, Jimmy Black. There's three other guys on that
team. Some guy named Worthy.
Yeah, Worthy. I think Perkins and this other little bummy rookie that I had to teach everything. I think his name is Jordan something. I don't know.
Yeah, Michael something. Final minutes. Under 3 to go. Oh, my.
Now, this is where the better team starts to get a little bit nervous. Right now, they don't want to attack. They want to take some time off the clock as you take a look at a 10-2 run in the last 4 minutes and 20 seconds for Hampton.
Horton got caught up in the air. Loose ball on the deck. And a scramble. Hampton calls the timeout, and Eustace is livid. Timeout in Boise. Three-point Iowa State lead with 2:25 left. 4 timeouts remaining for the Cyclones. 1 timeout remaining for Hampton. And the Pirates have it down 3. Marseille Brown, terrific job. Terrific job by Marseille Brown running this Hampton offense, trying to pull the upset on the number 2 seed Iowa State Cyclones. Hampton, the 15th seed, little floater, would not go.
Well, Hampton did a good job of executing their offense that time. They're getting up a shot. Now they just have to get this triangle defense to stop Iowa State inside.
Rancic denied. What a big block by Williams with the 4 foul. Up and in. Marseille Brown. Could it happen in Boise? Iowa State by 1.
You cannot take the ball to the basket weak against Mr. Williams from Hampton. He elevated.
This crowd on their feet for the underdog, Hampton Pirates. Tinsley with 13 on the shot clock.
It has to be Tinsley now. It has to be his game.
Follow away jumper, too strong. Underneath and the rebound goes to Cleveland Davis. 1:03 and the clock runs.
1 minute in regulation.
Well, Hampton has a lot of options. They have Marseille Brown, Williams on the inside. Tommy Adams is a guy that can create off the dribble, but look at the patience and look at the orchestration by Marseille Brown. They're going to try to go inside.
Jefferson, patient, 9 on the shot clock. Off the mark. Rebound and a foul underneath.
The shot clock is running down. Marseille Brown has 6'10" Rancic covering. Take that to the basket. Try to draw the foul. You can get that outside shot any time.
Not shooting free throws, James, with only 5 team fouls against Hampton. Boy, they nearly got it stolen away. Tough defense in the backcourt by Hampton. Sullivan gets it up. Little floater off the arm and the rebound to Williams. 22 seconds remaining. Timeout, Hampton. Hear this crowd in Boise. Iowa State hanging on to a 1-point lead over Hampton. Now this is the smallest combined margin of victory in a first-round region. 86 Minneapolis 17 points, 98 Washington D.C. 17, and after 3 games, James, tonight in Boise. What a day. 6 points separating the first 3 games.
We've had 4 great games, Craig, and the last time an MEAC team won an NCAA tournament game was in 1997. Number 15 Coppin State beat number 2 South Carolina. Was also the last time a 15 seed beat a number 2 seed.
Iowa State, 2 field goals the last 7.5 minutes.
Kickball.
Kicking the ball. Reset the shot clock. Hampton ball. No shot clock. Same power after the lineup for the cycle.
11.3 seconds remain. Can the 15 seed upset the number 2 seed in the West?
I think it can happen. A lot of weapons on Hampton's team.
Jefferson will inbound. Inside, the big fella. Williams! Iowa State pushing, time running down. Tinsley off the iron. It's over. Oh my God. It's over.
Unbelievable.
The 15th seed upsets the number 2. Larry Eustace, so concerned about this Hampton team. And what a comeback in the second half.
They joined Coppin State, who beat South Carolina in 1997. The second time a 15 seed has beat a number 2 team. And I tell you, Craig, they came in here with a game plan. Here's the game. At the end of regulation, you know they were going to try to look for their star. Marseille Brown, great pass inside. And from that point, it was a leap over top. Nothing but nylon. Arizona State unable to get a basket. Tinsley all the way. Missed the easy one off the glass. Hampton upsetting Iowa State. A remarkable finish and a remarkable comeback by Steve Murfell's team from Hampton, Virginia. Now there's a man that's turned into a 3-year-old right there. Remnants of Jimmy Valvano running around, searching for someone. Look at that. This is what it's all about.
Oh, the magic of March. And we had it tonight in Boise.